Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball, and tonight from Wrigley Field in Chicago. The fans have regrouped, and so have we, as we get you set for game number 2 of the doubleheader. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs. And along with Pat Paris, that's Tim McCarver. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Delighted to have you with us here for game number 2. And it should be interesting because a couple of young pitchers that have been in the minor leagues briefly called up square off in game 2.
Tim Cooney led the Pacific Coast League last year with 14 wins. He did start last Thursday against San Diego. He'll be opposed by Dallas Beeler, who was 1-5 with a 6.33 earned run average in Iowa, the AAA affiliate of the Cubs.
Anyway, Tim, you want to look at it, the offense has to get going for the St. Louis Cardinals. And a couple of the regulars are back in for game number 2. All-Star, 7-time selection, Yadier Molina. Matt Carpenter in there as well. Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. Make a plan to make it home. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealers for great prices on our all-new 2015 vehicles today. A win in Game 1 for Chicago. They're now 45-37. And 8.5 games back of Mike Matheny's club. Long day here at the ballpark. It continues with Game 2. Tommy Pham will lead it off, followed by Carpenter. He'll play second base. Then Peralta, Hayward, Molina, Reynolds, Scruggs, Borges, and Cooney. Dallas Beeler making the start, right-hander for the Chicago Cubs.
6'5", 210 pounds. Great extension, we hear. and is a carbon copy of Roy Halladay. And you can see it in his delivery. I mean, that's what the guys say. Of course, he was 1-5 and 6.33 earned run average. That's not Roy Halladay like. Cutter right there.
Charlie Morton, same type of delivery with the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's 58 degrees, but it feels warmer tonight than it did this afternoon. It was really chilly here at the ballpark. That's chopped to second base. Addison Russell making the start here in game number 2, 1 away. So what do we know about Dallas Beeler? Let's find out with the Hyundai pitch arsenal with Tim McCarver.
About 4 out of 10 pitches are sinkers. We saw the cutter, got the same split, an occasional curveball, and a split when he gets ahead. You won't see that pitch when he's behind in the count.
Here's Carpenter, so he's back in a familiar spot, at least in the field. He's at second base. Colton Wong made a tremendous play in game 1, but then it hit the side of his face near the right temple. And Mike Matheny saying that he went through a battery of tests to make sure he didn't have a concussion. He does not, but they're going to hold him out in game number 2 tonight. And what a play it was for the 3rd consecutive game for Colton Wong.
Unbelievable. One thing you worry about also is not only the face, but the neck tomorrow. May not be hurting him now, but overnight may give him problems.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Wind is dying down considerably from what we saw this afternoon. 15 miles an hour out of the north. The 1-2 pitch. Carpenter pinch hit late in the game in a key spot and struck out. He's a real key for this offense, clearly, and he's struggling right now.
Yes, he is. They have several hitters struggling for St. Louis.
And the count is full. Spoke with John Mozeliak between games, the Cardinals general manager, and he feels that Matt Holliday will be in the lineup against the Pittsburgh Pirates over the weekend. So that's good news. His last start at second base was September 28th of 2013, regular season play for Matt Carpenter against the Chicago Cubs, and he strikes out at a pitch right down the middle.
Matt called out on a pitch in game 1, and that's so un-Matt Carpenter-like, is to take the 3rd strike. Usually he'll battle, foul him off, but that has been a problem for the last 2.5 weeks or so, taking that 3rd strike.
Here's Peralta, Mr. Reliable, in there again for game number 2, the demanding position of shortstop. And he just plays inning after inning, doesn't he?
He really does.
Good numbers, 294, 11 home runs, 42 RBIs. There's a tight breaking ball. 0-2.
And that starting the All-Star game, it really doesn't hit you until the Sunday game is over in Pittsburgh. And then you go, wow. Johnny has been a member of the American League All-Star team twice. First start with the National League.
Behind home plate, calling the balls and strikes, America's favorite, Angel Hernandez. Pat Hoberg is at first base. Ted Barrett, the crew chief, at second. Tom Woodring is at third. We see Angel an awful lot. He lives in the West Palm area, so we see him in Jupiter, Florida during spring training. The 2-2, 3-2. Last year, Peralta, 157 games. He has sat out a couple of ball games here in 2015. Reaches for it, chopped to short, taken by Castro, and a 1-2-3 start for Dallas Beeler. Tim Cooney to the mound, the Cardinals left-hander, when we come back. For the Chicago Cubs, then Anthony Rizzo homered in game 1, then Chris Bryant, Jorge Soler, Chris Denorfia, Starlin Castro, Taylor Teagarden getting the start behind home plate. Dallas Beeler, again the pitcher, is batting 8th, and Addison Russell will bat 9th, the second baseman, hitting .226. Start number 3 for Tim Cooney this year.
Tim Cooney started against the San Diego Padres last Thursday. Had some starts last year for the Cardinals. So second start of the year for Tim. He hopes to fare better than he did last Thursday.
Gave up a couple of solo home runs to Savarte and Ross, the pitcher. 2 earned in 6 innings. A real key for him, just like we saw in game 1 with Lions, he's got to be able to establish the strike zone. Lions walked 5, but really wasn't hurt by it, but still pitch count got up, lifted early, has to throw strikes.
And when he throws strikes, he has to throw them early in the count so he can use his off-speed stuff. Not going to overpower you.
2 balls, 1 strike on Dexter Fowler. .234 at the average, 8 home runs, 24 RBIs. Much better hitter from this side of the plate. And a ground ball that's hit to second. There's Carpenter. And there's 1 away. Hyundai pitch arsenal for Tim Cooney. 4-seamer, you'll see that a bunch. The curve, the changeup, and the slider.
The difference between the major leagues and the minor leagues, in the minor leagues, pitchers can use the fat part of the plate to get ahead. In the major leagues, you can't. You got to use the corners to get ahead. And I think that more than anything else is the reason that some minor league pitchers have problems up here. They're still using that middle of the plate to get ahead, and they don't get ahead with it. Good curveball there.
Sure was. That's exactly what Tim Cooney said to me in spring training. He said the difference is if I can't spot my fastball on the corners, the players at this level just crush it. You know, I don't have overpowering stuff. I've got to be able to spot my fastball. If I can do that, everything feeds off of that.
One of the reasons major league hitters got to this level is they can hit the middle of the plate fastballs.
Rizzo hit by the pitch, number 18 this year for Rizzo. So hit with the breaking pitch. Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's defense for the Cardinals. Pham in left, Borges in center, Hayward is in right. Reynolds, Peralta, Carpenter, Scruggs along the infield. Molina is behind the plate. It's the most in any single season in Cubs history since 1900 in terms of hit by pitch. Number 18 for Rizzo. High fly ball, center field, spun around Borges. Makes the catch. Tagging up Rizzo. Heads up play from first to second.
Yes, it was. He read that very well. And realizing that wind is blowing in, as you said, Dan, at 15 miles an hour, straight in from center field. Peter Borges, I mean, that ball is way out of here on a normal day where the wind's not blowing. Rizzo alert, knows the part, knows the flags, and goes into second base standing up.
The Cubs record, by the way, for hit by pitches, 23 in 1898. So this is the most since that time. Bill Dolan with 23, and you would have to think that Rizzo will shatter that record.
I mean, only half the season thus far.
That's right. Jorge Soler hitting .261, 4 home runs. He's driven in 20. Boy, Bryant hit that as high as he did far. Wind blowing out. That ball is crushed. So 2 outs, man at second base as we play here in the bottom of the first, and there's no score.
So one thing that is impressive about Bryant, he has great lift to his swing. Even his foul balls, towering foul balls.
Here's the 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. tail end of last year. We saw Alcantara was up, Javier Baez. Soler has been the one that has stayed here. The other two have been in the minor leagues. One was injured for a while. We talked about it in game one. It's a 9-year deal. Soler defected from Cuba. Just hearing more and more about the players defecting from there, and another place for Major League Baseball to dip into that talent pool. Left field should be caught, and it is. A line drive into the glove of Tommy Pham. Cooney can breathe a little easier. First inning is in the books, and there's no score. DeNorfia, Fowler, and Soler in the outfield. Bryant, Castro, Russell, and Rizzo on the infield. Teagarden is behind the plate. Beeler is on the mound. Jason Hayward, Yadier Molina, Mark Reynolds for St. Louis. It's a 1-2-3 first. Hayward a couple of hits in game one. Well, Tim McCarver during the break between innings. A look back at one of the great broadcasters in Cardinals history, Cubs history, Harry Carey. And I can only imagine what it was like to be a player in St. Louis in his heyday, like you were.
One of a kind. First time I was interviewed by a professional, as a professional, was Harry Carey.
Was he kind? Was he good about it?
1959. Oh, yeah. I was 17. How can he not be?
And you were a little nervous, probably.
Oh, yes. Right down from Stan and Biggie's restaurant on Oakland.
That's right. A 3-1 pitch to Hayward. Ripped to the right side, and a base hit for the Cardinals. Their first hit tonight.
Jason Hayward has made massive improvement this year. And here's a guy who was hitting .211 on May 3rd. Now hovering around that .280 mark.
What are you seeing with him?
I don't know. I know he's more aggressive. He's laying off the inside pitch. He laid off one from Beeler. Earlier he was being jammed a lot. Seems to be going to left field with that outside pitch.
Molina with a fly ball that is center for out number one. I want you to take a look at it if we can remember next time he comes up. I thought over the weekend he was set up further from the plate than where he was at the beginning of the year. He was always jammed, it looked like, in the beginning of the year, and it looked like to me over the weekend it was further back from the plate.
He's a little more selective, and when you're more confident, you're more selective.
Mark Reynolds with a 2-run home run late in the Cardinals' 7-4 loss in Game 1. Gives him now 6 on the year. He's driven in 29, and he's batting .225. Made a couple of really nice plays defensively at third. One ball, one strike. We'll have a night game tomorrow for Game 4, then head to Pittsburgh, first of 4 coming up on Thursday night on PNC Park. The 1-1 pitch, 1-2.
That's a pitch designed to be away. It hung up inside to Mark Reynolds. He thought it was inside. It's kind of an illusion, really. You see that slider and it backs up and it fools you.
Hits it the other way. He had a foul ball. Here's a 1-2 pitch. They wanted low and away, and that's where most in the league have been getting Mark Reynolds out.
Tell you what's impressive is Jorge Soler's positioning in right field. You led to that in the first game, saying that he plays a shallow right field, and he does. Wind blowing in.
Strikeout of Reynolds. Second strikeout for Dallas Beeler. One of the most popular nights at Busch Stadium is coming up, and that's Mizzou night at Busch Stadium. July 17th against the Mets. Cardinals.com/theme. Get a Mizzou cap. Wear your black and gold. July 17th. Dallas Beeler, 26-year-old, pitched in 2 games for the Cubs last season, was 0-2, 3.27 ERA. As Tim mentioned, and it's worth repeating, 13 starts in the minor leagues, a record of 1-5 this year.
And an earned run average close to 650.
In June, he was much better. That's why he got the call up, 2.67 ERA. Cubs felt he was starting to feel it a little bit, going in the right direction, so ride the hot hand, bring him up to the big leagues for this start. Game 2 of the doubleheader. John Mozeliak also indicated to us that they're not sure who will start on Sunday night in Pittsburgh, the Sunday night game. So it could be, depending on what happens in this game, Tim Cooney, or you go back to Game 1 start, Tyler Lyons. 1-2 pitch, and that's swung on and missed, and a strikeout of Scruggs. 2 in the inning, back-to-back 3 tonight for Dallas Beeler. We say good evening to Pat Paris.
Hi, Dan. You know, this is one of our favorite nights of the year. It's the night when our sponsors make their way up here, and a big trip to support the Cardinals here at Wrigley Field, and they get the nice event porch up here, and we have a little fun with the sponsors. So they're here tonight, some of the great sponsors who help make Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Midwest possible. A little later on, some of those sponsors will get a chance to ask you and Tim a question or two. So I hope you guys are ready. I think that's the bottom of the fourth inning. We'll do that.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Wait a minute, Pat. We are.
Come on. I am. I'm looking forward to it. Tim, you got to be ready. I mean, they'll be great questions. I'll make sure they're good questions.
By the way, Pat, make sure that they are good questions, okay?
Yeah. I'm gonna vet them thoroughly. Don't worry.
Pat Paris is screening our questions.
Are you ready?
I don't know.
There was ever time for an Affleck trivia question, it was now.
Think about this. Birds are some of the greatest athletes in the world. You know who said that? Whose quote that was? Wilbur Wright.
Well, you're reading a book about the
I
Wright
finished
brothers.
it. Yes, I finished it. Wilbur Wright studied birds and the flight of birds, and that led to the invention of the airplane.
Well, the Cardinals right now are feeding that bird sunflower seeds.
Wilbur didn't get into that.
No, I'm sure that wasn't part of Chapter 7. Pro athletes feeding the bird. Reaching for it, DeNorfia, and a fly ball into shallow right. There's Hayward, and he puts it away. Carlos Martinez trying to curry favor even with the bird to get more votes online. Hey, which reminds me, you can go to Cardinals.com and vote all you want. Vote for a Royal. We're teaming up and then hopefully get a lot of votes. Brought to you by Major League Baseball. Here's Starlin Castro. Starlin is a three-time All-Star, batting .250, 5 home runs, 36 RBIs, and a fly ball into center. Here comes Peter Borges. Toyota keys to the game. Tim has been thinking about this since the final out of Game 1.
I have. Toyota keys tonight, it's pretty simple. Bounce back for the Redbirds. Redbird rebound. Alliteration. Well, takes a lot of time for that.
Redbird rebound. Got it. It's the key to the game. Taylor Teagarden is the backup catcher. David Ross is on the 7-day DL with a concussion. And those symptoms to follow that. So he sits. Teagarden, part of the doubleheader. Montero started Game 1. Here's a 1-0 pitch.
A couple of years ago, David Ross on the disabled list twice for the Boston Red Sox. Won a 7-day concussion and then a longer stint for about a month and a half.
That's scary stuff.
It really is.
Now the doctors and the trainers know more and more about the concussions. A 1-2-3 inning for Tim Cooney. Cardinals.com/vote. By Jack in the Box. And if the Cards throw 9 strikeouts, get a free monster taco with any purchase tomorrow at Jack in the Box.
I guess that is the second tallest building in Chicago now, the John Hancock building, second to the Sears building. Gene Oliver, the ex-Cardinal and ex-Cub back in 1969, said if the Mets catch this team, I will jump off the John Hancock building. Well, the Mets won it by 9 that year. Ollie did not jump off the building. No, of course not. An exaggeration.
But I got it.
Yeah.
Peter Borges at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. A start in center field tonight.
You don't know what that season, if the Cubs win the pennant that year, you don't know what that might have done in the next decade. But that stripped them of all their confidence, and the Mets came on. The Mets ended up winning in 1973. Big Red Machine took over in the National League, and the Lumber Company in Pittsburgh.
Let me throw this at you. What does the decade of the 70s look like with Carlton and Royce in St. Louis?
Oh my gosh.
Some good teams there that get overlooked because they did win the division, but good teams.
Jerry Royce for Scipio Spinks, Steve Carlton for Rick Wise within a year.
We were talking about Carlton in game 1, and certainly a unique individual, but also unique training for his arm and one of the great sliders of baseball history.
Steve Carlton did what conventional thinkers in baseball thought you couldn't do, and that was to lift weights and to build muscles. He was the strongest man, and maybe still is, from the fingertips to the elbow of anybody I've ever met. Never had shoulder problems.
Right.
I beg your pardon, never had elbow problems. He did have shoulder problems. Went to a chiropractor in St. Louis to manage that as Borges goes down on a good fastball from Beeler.
I mean, you shake his hand. Now he's left-handed, obviously, but even when you shake his hand, so strong and big. He's still put together.
He really is. He was ahead of his time.
Yeah. And what was he doing, Tim, as you get a look at Tim Cooney, but what was he doing with the rice in the buckets?
Oh, yeah. I've heard you and Ricky talking about it. Some of the Cardinals adopted that.
Right.
Ricky Horton won back in the middle 80s. That stick his hand down in a bucket of rice and then make 10 revolutions with his hand.
Cooney puts the ball in play. 2 down.
If you don't think that doesn't pump up the forearms, and that gave him the strength to put the spin on the slider that was so devastating and put him in the Hall of Fame with 329 wins.
Rafael Palmeiro is told to me by Jeff Brantley, who played with him at Mississippi State. When Palmeiro was a kid, former Cub, by the way, huge forearms. And
right.
Say what you will about what you believe how they got there, but when he was a kid, if he ever had to watch TV, his father made him squeeze a tennis ball the entire time. He was not allowed to watch TV unless he was squeezing a racquetball or a tennis ball to strengthen up his forearms. And you remember, he hit a lot of times off his front foot.
Right.
And power generated with those arms and wrists.
Very short stroke.
6 is a serious number, and on the run, Cardinals scores 6. Any size drink, just 50 cents the next day. Coffee, fountain, frozen drink. When they score, you pour. At your nearest on the run, you earned it. No balls, 2 strikes. Tommy Pham. Pham grounded out to second base. First time up. Michael Wacha will go tomorrow. 24-year-old. Ooh, a low strike against Pham. Beeler, first time through the lineup, struck out 4, 5 total. That a strong fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. And it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Dallas Beeler will be the hitter. Tim, we have a longtime employee at the St. Louis Cardinals, Tony Simikaitis, who lost his dad over the weekend. And the family had a get-together, as a matter of fact. They were in a suite as Beeler drives it out to deep left. And it's into the ivy. He'll wind up at second base. But Tony has been with the St. Louis Cardinals. His father passed away. Huge baseball fan. Huge Cardinal fan. And want to make sure that we pass along our thoughts and prayers to Tony and his family with the loss of Anthony J. Tony Simikaitis. Thinking about you, Tony. First base hit in the big leagues for Dallas Beeler. His second, excuse me, number 2. Well, you know what then? His first of the night.
Yeah, but not the first of the night for a Cup pitcher. Jake Arrieta with 2, and last night, throw to Scruggs from Tim Cooney. They thought Beeler may have missed the bag, but nope, he got it. That's the 4th Cub pitcher's hit in these 3 games.
Last night, John Lester with his first hit. Arrieta with 2. And I'm sure Madden is questioning how the Cardinals are approaching throwing to first base. As now they work on Matt Carpenter. Contacts, it looks like.
I wonder if he stepped off the rubber before he threw to first, which he has to do. Because if you're on the rubber, you can't throw to an unoccupied base.
And I think that's exactly what he is saying.
Yeah.
Here's Addison Russell following the double by Dallas Beeler.
I've never seen that argument. Have you?
No. Nope.
But it's a very shrewd argument by Joe Madden.
The 1-0 pitch to Russell. Hit out of play. Neither team coming into this series was swinging the bat well at all. That includes Addison Russell, who's been in a little bit of a funk coming into this series with the Cardinals. Did not play in game 1. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike with Beeler, the runner, at second base.
This is the second toss over by Tim Cooney. And he does step off. There's stepping off, throwing to first base, thinking that Beeler missed first, but he touched it.
The 2-1 pitch. Popped up. Foul territory. Hayward taking charge. Makes the catch near the line. Krispy Kreme doesn't deal. Cardinals get 9 hits tonight. You're invited into Krispy Kreme tomorrow. Receive a dozen of their original glazed donuts for only $3.99. Stop by one of the 4 St. Louis area Krispy Kreme locations for this sensational deal. Here's Fowler. It's a big out as Russell is not able to advance the runner from second to third nor bring him in. Fowler grounded out to second, first time up. You know, most of the questions from those in our traveling party will be directed at you coming up.
Why?
Well, you're the most popular of the group here in the booth, so why not direct it towards you?
It just puts so much unusual pressure on.
You know, one of the folks that has traveled with this party is a Hall of Famer. His name's Bernie Federko, played for the St. Louis Blues. He may ask you a question about the Blues.
Yeah, I'm a hockey fan, but I don't know a lot about hockey. I can't say that I do. I know some of the great names in hockey: Bobby Orr, Brett Hull, Bobby Hull, the Hull family.
Mrs. Hull. The Ants. Cooney has the runner held up between second and third. That's Beeler. Will be tagged out. Fowler winds up at second base with 2 down.
How many times do you see a very adept pitcher getting a rundown where he allows the runner to advance to second base? Not too often. I'll answer that for you. But Beeler did a very good job. Rhetorical question and all. That really is a good job.
Yep.
I got a 6'5", not normally that nimble.
But just stay in the rundown, follow his speed. He winds up at second. Right now, Tim is digging through the Blues encyclopedia, getting ready for Bernie Federko. Here's Anthony Rizzo. And to remind Bernie, there he is with Bernadette on the right. But Bernie, I had to remind him the playoffs are over. He now is allowed to shave. Apparently he hasn't seen a razor in a few weeks. Anthony Rizzo, 63 at bats this year against lefties. Hit by pitch 7 times. 7 strikeouts. How about that? He was hit by a pitch back in the first inning. You know, Tim, we talked about it prior to game 1 and the new video boards here at the ballpark, and after the game earlier today on the Cubs side, they were talking about they couldn't believe that Rizzo's home run got out of here, because they believe, the players do, that this has changed dramatically how the ball flies out of the ballpark. Now again, wind was blowing in, but they do believe that the new scoreboards are definitely a factor, and it changes the flight of balls leaving Wrigley Field.
We were questioning that last night, especially the video board in left center field. And it certainly appeared that the ball was not traveling like it used to without it.
3-2 on Rizzo.
Cooney taking a page from Tyler Lyons in pitching to Rizzo, throwing a 3-1 breaking ball. Lyons did that and then came back with another one to strike out Rizzo his first time up in game 1.
Curveball lifted into center. Backing up. Peter Borges makes the play. weekend in Pittsburgh. And so he will start the All-Star game for the Cardinals. Johnny Peralta, his third selection. And the other starters for the All-Star game. Cincinnati, July 14th. And you can see that game on Fox.
You know what's odd during the All-Star game? The clubhouse. And you see the pecking order of the different players. Outfielders talk to outfielders. Infielders talk to infielders. Catchers are really the loneliest position from that standpoint. You don't commiserate with the pitchers necessarily because, you know, you're facing them,
sure,
you're trying to hit them. And these are guys against whom you compete all the time. It's an odd feeling being in a clubhouse. I mean, you're starstruck if it's your first one. Being in the clubhouse with the likes in my day of Mays and Aaron and Frank Robinson.
Sure.
And Willie McCovey.
Amazing.
Juan Marichal.
Carpenter with a base hit into right field. Takes the turnaround first. He'll stop there. Carpenter's been a part of it twice. He was the leading vote getter for the better part of the fan vote, and then Todd Frazier overtook him late.
I'm not really sure how it is now, but again, in my day, pitchers would talk to pitchers, but pitchers wouldn't talk to the other hitters. It's very interesting.
It was different too in terms of, and correct me if I'm wrong, but just the competition. I mean, there was great pride. If you were a National Leaguer, you really wanted to beat the American League.
Oh yeah.
Interleague play, I think, is taken away with some of that. Plus, the luster of the game in terms of the competition wasn't quite there.
No.
Became more of a showcase.
You know, when you think about that slogan of Fox, this time it counts. It really counted more back then than it does now.
There's no doubt.
I mean, as far as winning and losing are concerned.
Well, there was also money at stake, too. Guys weren't making $30 million. Some extra coin to put in your pocket, that meant something. Think of Rose and Fosse. The competition for Pete Rose.
1970 on a ground ball up the middle by Jim Hickman, who was with the Cubs at the time.
Been some great all-star moments too. Reggie Jackson off the transformer in Detroit. Throw by Dave Parker from right field. Ichiro with the inside the park home run. The Cal Ripken A-Rod scenario. Who plays short? A foul ball. Tommy Lasorda somersaults at third base.
Yep.
Three and two the count here on Johnny Peralta. Short lead at first by Carpenter. And a little chopper towards third. Out at second. And safe at first. Cardinals hit into two double plays in game number one.
We talked about Addison Russell last night coming over from Oakland as a shortstop. I think he'll be in that position. And I think Starlin Castro will be traded this year. I really do. Don't know why I think that, just do.
What about the outfield for Castro potentially? Whether it's here or another place.
A left fielder maybe. Good job by Carpenter going after Russell. Clean and legal. Peralta beat the play.
Hayward, base hit into right. He's 2 for 2. How about Beeler with 5 strikeouts already in this game? This is now his second time through the lineup, so it could be a different story before it's all said and done. But already more than he had in 8 of his 13 AAA starts with the 5 Ks tonight. Cardinals with 3 base hits, 2 in this inning, and 2 tonight from the bat of Jason Hayward. Yadier Molina. Is it now, Tim, just a question of longevity for Molina when you talk about potential of Cooperstown for him?
I think he needs another 5 years.
5.
Yes. Of productivity.
Sure. He'll go down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, defensive catcher ever to play the game. He's got a chance. He'll be in the conversation for sure.
Yep.
But now 7 All-Star appearances for Yadier Molina.
He and Ivan Rodriguez, similar in their. Ivan Rodriguez had more spring from the catcher's position, the way he came out of the position. And I think as strong a throwing arm as Molina, it was different.
3-0 pitch. Doesn't chase. It's ball 4. Bases loaded. First walk issued by Beeler. BJC Healthcare difference maker. A look from last year to this year, and the starters ERA of the Chicago Cubs much improved. The Cardinals a remarkable 2.77 ERA, but the Cubs a big jump from 24th to 6th. If you're the Cardinals and the way that things are going, you've got to get at least one here, if not more. Offensively, searching for any type of offense to get things going.
Yeah.
It's Chris Bosio, who's been a pitching coach, threw a no-hitter at one point in his career. He was a pitching coach in Tampa Bay, also Milwaukee, and now with Joe Madden.
I'll tell you what surprises me about Mark Reynolds' swing. I think Mark's got to cheat a little bit toward that outside part of the plate, because he has been swinging and missing similar pitches over the last month and a half. With the runner in scoring position and less than 2 outs, down on third, well, he didn't get that call. That ball was not a strike.
0-1 the count. Bases loaded. Mark Reynolds. We are scoreless here in the top of the 4th.
And Beeler comes back inside. Outside with the fastball, inside with the fastball.
0-2 the count. One-two pitch. Again going outside. Earlier this year at Busch Stadium, our AT&T U-verse rewind. Bases loaded. Mark Reynolds with a grand slam off of Travis Wood. Cardinals fell behind early on in that game by a lot. Came back and won it. The 1-2.
Back inside. Fastball off the plate inside after going away with 3 of the first 4 pitches.
Cardinals need a 2-out hit from Xavier Scruggs, hitting .400. Small sample size with runners in scoring position. Picked up a base hit late in game 1. First pitch, a strike. Peralta, Hayward, Molina, all aboard for St. Louis. Time is called. 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Scruggs. Chopped to third, taken there by Chris Bryant. Bases loaded, 1 out. Cardinals don't score. To the bottom of the 4th. Chris Bryant will lead it off. And let's check in with Pat Paris. Pat, what do you have?
You guys have been waiting for this all day long. I know it's our sponsor trip, annual trip up here to Wrigley Field, and some of our great sponsors are with us, like Jamie Offenberg from Offenberg Auto Mall. And Jamie's going to ask the first question of the night. It's Ask the Booth. Jamie, what do you got?
My question is for Tim McCarver, and I guess over a number of years I've come to Wrigley Field and always thought of this place as a park where the outcome can change in a hurry. I wonder if Tim can remember a game that he played in where it looked hopeless but turned around and pulled out a great win.
All right, Tim, there's your question.
Tim is thinking about it thanks to Chris Bryant.
No, I'm giving Jason Hayward a chance to track it down.
Well, Tim, that thing's 15 rows deep. Now get with it and let's go.
There were 2 games, one in 1976. I was a member of the Philadelphia Phillies. We were trailing 13-2 in the 6th inning with 1 out and nobody on. We ended up winning the game 18-16 when Mike Schmidt hit 4 home runs, one against Paul Russell's brother. Paul Russell's brother, Rick. And then Paul gave up the 4th home run. So 4 home runs, the first against one brother, the 4th against the other. The other game was May 15th, 1979, and the Philadelphia Phillies again.
How do you remember these dates?
Won by, I just remember. You don't forget. You're telling me, I'm trying to think about it, and I think about it, and then you ask me how I remember it.
Now get back to it.
23-22, won by the Phillies. At the end of 1, the score was 7-6 Cubs.
After 1.
After 1 inning. And Jamie, also, the starting pitcher for the Phillies homered in the top of the first, and in the bottom of the first, the opposing pitcher, a relief pitcher named Donnie Moore, hit a triple. So there was a home run and a triple by opposing pitchers in the first inning.
Wow.
How many times does that happen?
Only Wrigley.
So there you go,
Wrigley.
Jamie. I hope I answered that for you.
Now do we go back to Pat? Okay.
Are you ready for another?
3-2 on Chris Bryant. Bring it, Pat.
Chuck Wallace from Bommarito Automotive Group, one of our tremendous sponsors here on Fox Sports Midwest, joins us now. And Jamie, as we see the ground ball to Mark Reynolds, who retires the batter, your question for the booth.
Tim, my question is, we heard today that the older players had the rookies get in full dress and walk from the hotel to the Starbucks to get coffee. What did you guys do when you were playing as far as hazing goes, or what kind of good practical jokes that you can remember?
Well, that's timely, guys. I mean, that's right out of the headlines of today, or at least the Twitter world.
Well, I would like to have a juicy story for you, but I don't. There was no hazing in my day.
Well, that answers that. No hazing.
I know that sounds boring, but there was no hazing.
There had to be something.
There was no hazing.
Now, what about... Well, here's from this morning, the young players, the rookies having to go get the coffees. Mm-hmm. Now, did the rookies have to carry bags?
No.
Was there anything like that?
No. Huh. I mean, we were made to feel like rookies, believe me. Around the batting cage, they'd push you aside. They'd go in and take more swings than you did. There were ways that they made you feel like a first-year player.
Well, that's a little hazing.
Yeah, maybe a mental hazing, perhaps. But as far as things like that, going to Starbucks and getting coffee, I mean, I do that for you on a regular basis.
I wish. I just wish that was. By the way, you brought some pizza back, though. You did.
I did.
I stand corrected.
Case in point.
Well done, partner. 1-2 the count here on Soler. I have a Hall of Famer with me in the booth right now, Tim McCarver, Baseball Hall of Famer, out there with Pat Parris in a moment. We're going to hear from Hockey Hall of Famer Bernie Federko. That swung on and missed. A strikeout of Soler. Pat, take it away.
Yeah, right on cue, the strikeout. And Bernie Federko, Dan, one of your broadcast partners in the past, and my current broadcast partner whenever we have the Blues here on Fox Sports Midwest. I know you're dying to ask a question to the booth, Bernie.
I am. You know, I just want to know, Tim, I know you were here with the Cardinals when the Blues started in 1967. I'm just wondering if you got a chance to go to many Blues games and got to be friends with any of the Blues in those early days.
I went to a couple of games. I was not, real close to the players. Of course, we were all caught. But I will say, Bernie, that hockey players and baseball players are more kindred spirits between the two sports, I think, than baseball in any other sport or hockey in any other sport.
Bobbled a bit by Carpenter, stays with it, makes the play.
Look forward to meeting you in person, Bernie.
Pat, get some more. Tim is pumped about this.
Fired up.
I'm surprised you two didn't have a question for Tim.
Gorgeous bunt.
Beautiful bunt, but just foul. You survived that inning. I thought you did great. I want to go back, though, to something you said. Why are baseball players and hockey players more the kindred spirits, in your opinion?
I'm not really sure.
But I've noticed the same thing, though.
Uh-huh.
And especially in St. Louis.
I think more hockey players have played baseball than baseball players have played hockey.
Agreed.
No basketball players play hockey, for the most part. A few football players love the contact.
Blues have been in the playoffs last couple of years. Cardinals, at least the players, have really supported that and followed those players in spring training. If the Blues come down to Tampa Bay or Florida, many of the players make a trip to go watch, and then you'll see Blues players throughout the summer, especially when training camp gets close. They're at the ballpark. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Borges puts it in play, and a ground ball that's hit to second. All right, this is what we were talking about earlier. Mike Moustakas for Kansas City, Carlos Martinez for the Cardinals. They have teamed up. And so the Royals fans voting for Martinez, they're asking for Cardinal fans to vote for Moustakas. Just go to cardinals.com/vote. It ends at 3 o'clock on July 10th. Tim right now is on his iPhone, and he has voted for Carlos for 78 times since the end of game 1. I'm really proud of you.
Kind of an overall Midwest vote.
Yes, sir. Cooney has grounded out to third. And the 1-1 is a good breaking ball that fooled home plate umpire Angel Hernandez. 2-1 the count.
Hockey players make the best golfers.
Oh,
Slap
yeah.
shot is like a golf swing, from what I've heard.
They could smoke it.
Oh, man. Famous, one of the better ones of 40 years ago, Stan Mikita, who played with the Blackhawks here in Chicago.
Tie into the Hawks is Bobby Hall. Then his son Brett was a very good golfer and still is. Working for the St. Louis Blues. Both are Hall of Famers.
I want to meet Brett Hull. I want you to arrange that in the booth. In the booth in September. I would love it, and I want to do that. I met his father, have not met Brett.
You'd love him. I mean to tell you, one of the great players that ever played the game, clearly because of all the goals he scored, but a tremendous passer in the game that he doesn't get enough credit for. And I covered the St. Louis Blues for a number of years. The training staff said, of all the players they had, think about this statement: he was the toughest.
Wow.
Hockey players and the toughest. Talking about Brett Hull. Want a great deal on Cardinals tickets? Fill up at Phillips 66, 8 gallons or more, now until September 24th. Receive up to 50% off on a pair of tickets to a Cardinals home game. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66. Cardinals go quietly. 1-2-3 in the top of 5. Beeler and Cooney. Fun matchup here in game number 2. Next to the name to the right is how many appearances they had, whether it be starts or out of the bullpen. And then that's combined. So you see Bridges and Ricketts, the 2, the 3, 5 combined games coming into a doubleheader. And that's what we have here tonight with Lyons with 28 appearances or starts combined, and Cooney with 2, so 30. Get an idea, it's inexperience in this doubleheader.
That is Dick Ricketts, who was Dave Ricketts' brother, older brother. They both starred at Duquesne in basketball. Dick was the taller of the two, and Dave Ricketts went on to be one of the great instructors in the history of the Cardinals.
George Kissel, Dave Ricketts. This goes on and on. Some of the great instructors over the years, as Starlin Castro lines it foul.
Well, I'll tell you, Dan, you work fast. When you say you're going to get something done, you do it.
You wanted to talk to Bernie? Here he is.
I did. I mean, it's magic.
He's a magic man, Dan McLaughlin. You
really
bet he is, Tim.
He really is.
Well, why did you take one of the sponsors' questions when you could have just come over here and asked the question?
I only do what I'm told. Jack Donovan came to me and said, you need a question for Tim, and I did. So I don't know if it made any sense, Tim, but I know you were here in the early years.
Bernie was a lot of fun. I'll tell you, I do remember the Blues coming to St. Louis in 1967, and that was such a big year for us because we went on to beat the Red Sox in the World Series.
Exactly, and we're still looking for that first series that we can win. The Stanley Cup, I know the people at home are anxiously waiting, and I know that Doug Armstrong and the ownership group are working very hard in St. Louis to copy what the Cardinals have been doing, winning all these championships. I know the Stanley Cup is on their minds, and hopefully it's going to be here sooner than later.
Hey, did you forget your razor? What's the deal?
It's playoff beer, Dan. You know what? I'm waiting.
Playoffs are over.
Well, no, not for me. Not in my mind yet. I'm still waiting as long as I can. And actually, my wife thinks it looks pretty cute, so I'm not sure if that's true.
Keep it.
All right. Good to see you, Bernie.
Dan, it's always a pleasure. It's I've never been up here at Wrigley Field up this high, and this is pretty impressive.
Game looks easy from up here,
doesn't it, Tim? It really does. That's the one thing I think in all the sports, it always looks a lot easier.
It really does.
Past Pham and out to left. Castro on his way to second base. This is one of the cathedrals, if you will, of baseball. How about in hockey? Maybe Maple Leaf Gardens?
Yeah, it was, Dan. I think that when you're looking back at the old buildings, I mean, unfortunately, there's no old buildings that are left now. Everything, I mean, it's progress in this, but I think the Montreal Forum was probably the great building, and of course, Boston Garden. Madison Square Garden is somewhat what it used to be, but the improvements, the modern sports, the sponsors, everything, everybody wants a little bit more, a little more comfort, and I think that's why you see a lot of the new buildings. But this is, the ambiance that you get here coming to Wrigley Field is absolutely fantastic.
Tim was just asking. He wants to meet Brett Hull. He wants to get him in the booth.
I do.
You were very close as a player with Brett, and now working in the front office with Brett, hand in hand with what's happening on the broadcast and the telecast. These two would get along, wouldn't they, Brett Hull and Tim McCarver?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, Brett wears his heart on his sleeve. He tells you what he thinks, and I think that's a great thing. And I know that Brett loves being back in St. Louis, and he's looking for that first Stanley Cup for the Blues as well.
Throw is going to be not in time. Thanks a lot, Bernie. You brought the luck.
Dan, it's only one run.
Got to score to win anyway.
Exactly, Tim. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I know that you got to score to win, Dan.
Taylor Teagarden inside outing, a fastball from Cooney, and Castro scores. Even though he slides, he scores rather handily.
And it brings in the pitcher, Dallas Beeler, who doubled off the wall. The Ivy, first time up for his second major league hit. Runner at first is Teagarden, and nobody out. 1-0 Cubs. Beeler will square. Blues made some big news today, did they not?
They did. You talked about Brett Hull. I think that we're seeing another guy that's going to be in the mold of Brett Hull, and with Vladdy Tarasenko, just a tremendous talent, and yeah, big news, big long-term contract, almost as much as you make now, Dan. So it's good to see him under contract with the Blues, and I think he's going to be a star for a long, long time.
I got cut after we added McCarver. The bunt is foul.
I don't believe that, Dan.
No balls in 1 strike on Dallas Beeler. We were talking too about how hockey players seem to gravitate towards baseball and vice versa. That's really true, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. You know, I know that a lot of the Blues players right now are very, very close with a lot of the Cardinals. I know that they go to watch each other's games. You know, again, especially with social media, they're able to really stay in touch so much more than what we were able to when we played.
Kevin Segrist, a fanatical Buffalo Sabre fan coming up, and I think he's leaning now toward the Blues.
I would say that's a good move because I think the Blues are a lot better team than the Buffalo Sabres, although the Buffalo Sabres are going to get better very quickly with we're able to draft and some of the signings that they've made.
Well, we got to make sure if we bring Brett to the booth, we can't let Segrist get around him because Brett scored the game-winning goal for the Dallas Stars in what was Game 6, 7?
Game 6. Yeah. Game 6 in Buffalo, and that was 1999, and a goal that by the rules wasn't supposed to count. Wasn't supposed to count, though, by the rules at the time.
Right. Here's an 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball taken low. Now, how about the job our former coach at St. Louis has done here with the Chicago Blackhawks? 3 cups now for Joe Quenneville.
Yeah, quite a feat. And Joel's a great guy. I mean, we all wish he was still back in St. Louis, but I don't think that when you know Joel, you can't wish him but good luck because he's such a great guy.
He is. And a foul ball. How's your family, Bernie? The kids doing all right?
Everybody's great, Dan. Everybody's delightfully happy back in St. Louis. Our oldest son just moved back, so we've got all 3 of the boys back in St. Louis now. So we're Mama's very happy. She's over there in the bleacher seat. She's very happy that all the boys are back in St. Louis.
They still on the payroll?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but you know what? I think they're always on the payroll. That's what I heard. I'm still pretty young, but Tim, tell me, help me out. I think they're always on the payroll, aren't they?
We're forever young.
Beeler at the plate, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Strikeout. Second tonight for Tim Cody. What's on tap? Presented by Budweiser. Back at it again tomorrow here from Wrigley Field in Chicago. Michael Wacha against Hamill. Good matchup. Wacha, the All-Star, 10-3. Budweiser, what's on tap? Will come your way at 6:30. Were you surprised, Bernie, with the trade of T.J. Oshie to Washington? First time our fans have had a chance to hear from you.
No, I really don't. I wasn't surprised. I mean, you know, unfortunately, you know, when things don't work out, the Blues were very disappointed. They had to change something, and you know, unfortunately, you know what? It's the nature of the business now. You don't know who's going to go or you know what the general manager is looking for. But obviously, Doug Armstrong felt that this was a move that was going to improve the team. It did change the the dynamics of the hockey club, and you know I think everybody says they wish T.J. Oshie a lot of luck going to Washington, but they're hoping that you know Brouwer is going to be a difference maker here, especially when the Blues are in the playoffs.
And a fly ball lifted out to left, slipping just a bit. Tommy Pham and recovers to make the play. Now, Tim, on your television show, give me a hockey player that you had the chance to sit down and visit with, and I guarantee Bernie Federko's had the chance to visit with them many, many times.
I'll tell you, a very close friend is Eddie Westfall, who used to do the Islander games back in the late 70s and early 80s, and I had a chance to meet Eddie when I was doing Met games back in '83. What a great guy he is. What a player, too, right?
Absolutely.
With Bobby Orr.
Absolutely. I mean, those the old pros, I mean, they, you know, we talk about the new wave of players now, but those old players were the grittiest of all time. I mean, go back to not wearing helmets and getting beat up and doing all the things. It was crazy. I mean, the game has always been fast. It's a lot faster now than it was back then, but the grit that they played. And I mean, when guys got hurt, they played through it because they were afraid that someone was going to take their job if they got out of the lineup. So, but every one of those old guys like Eddie Westfall, all the older guys that I broke into the league with all these older guys, and I admired them all. And I mean, it's that respect that you've always had from the time that you're a youngster in the league.
Concussions a major problem in football, concussions in baseball, and I would imagine the same in hockey too.
Yeah, there's been a lot of issues with concussions. I mean, Chris Pronger, congratulations to Chris going into the Hall of Fame in November. But he again a great career that was cut short because of a concussion. But again, it's a quick sport, it's a fast sport, it's a physical sport, and you're going to get those concussions. And unfortunately, hopefully they can find a way, whether with better helmets or some safety issue that we can get them stopping for especially for the young kids that are playing the sport now.
Sure.
Will you go to Toronto to see Prongs inducted?
Probably, Dan. We kind of pick and choose when we go. We get invited every year, but we kind of pick and choose when it's somebody that we really know that we get to go and watch him go in. And I think that Bernadette and I will probably venture to Toronto to see.
That's great.
Let's do a speech. That's the most important part. Sit there and grin at him when he has to go through all that.
You were a wreck.
I was a wreck. I was a. You know that. You were with me
there.
That. Yeah, it was. It's you only have one time in your life to get in front of a group of people that really meant so much to you in your career, and you only get one chance to thank them. And
you nailed it.
Yeah, well, it was I look back, it was just a phenomenal moment in my life, and I know that Chris will be very, very prepared for his speech when it comes his time.
2-2 pitch to Fowler. Short lead at first, and the check swing. Tim was asking about Bobby Hall. You had the chance to meet Bobby?
I interviewed Bobby.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm. What a great man. I mean, Bobby is still around. I mean, I saw him on TV when the Hawks won the Cup, and I was actually back in Saskatoon a week and a half ago with Dennis Hull was there. I had a nice time with Dennis. And I'm sure you've spent some time with Dennis too as well.
He's hilarious.
He is absolutely hilarious. He was the guest speaker at a dinner that I was with there. And but again, Bobby is still. You walk into Chicago here, it's incredible. Bobby Hull is everything here in Chicago still, which is pretty phenomenal.
Great to see you.
Always a pleasure, Dan. Thank you so much. And Tim,
what a pleasure
to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Love your work. Enjoy everything you've done. And glad you're here in our broadcast booth.
Thank you so much.
What a treat for me. The Hall of Famers, Tim McCarver, Bernie Federko. We head to the sixth. Is up for grabs. One of 5 that are there in that final vote is Carlos Martinez. Cardinals.com/vote. Many thanks to Bernie Federko for stopping by.
That was a lot of fun.
I'm telling you, Tim, you don't find many better than that man. Obviously, great player. He's in the Hall of Fame. Better person.
What an impression he made. First impressions last. What a first impression for me.
There's certain people that you remember how they treat fans. just treat people in general. You don't find many better than Bernie Federico. He's loved by the fan base in St. Louis and always signs autographs, always takes pictures, has time to shake hands. And you know where he said he got that from? It was his parents, but he said he used to watch Stan the Man go about his business. He said, I used to watch that man do it in this town. Certainly I can do that as a hockey player in this town.
Pretty good man to emulate.
You got it. 3-1 the count. Lefty Russell along with Justin Grimm both have appeared in this series, and Russell pitched in game 2 earlier today. First game of the doubleheader. As Carpenter draws the walk. Tying run is on here in the top of the 6th. Time for the DirecTV standings in the National League Central Division. Cardinals start to play tonight with a 6-game lead over Pittsburgh, 8.5-game lead over Chicago after the loss earlier today. Cincinnati 16, Milwaukee 19. What do the Brewers do? I mean, that's got to be a team that a couple of really nice chips that if you wanted to rebuild, you.
Adam Lane's one of them.
Absolutely. There's a broken bat. Maybe Aramis Ramirez. I know you really like him.
He is a run producer. Always has been. Started with Pittsburgh and then the Cubs and now with the Brewers. But you know what? He's retiring at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So that's anybody who trades for him. It's going to be tough to trade for Ramirez.
Carlos Gomez.
I don't think so.
Gene Segura, Mets need
I like
a shortstop.
Adam Lane. Adam Lane. I think Adam Lane and the Cardinals are a good fit.
Could be. Walk to Carpenter, and the 0-1 pitch. Driven out to right field. Soler going back over his head. One hops off the wall. Carpenter on his way to third. They'll stop there, and Peralta only a single out of that play. Runners at the corners for the Cardinals.
That's the threat of the arm of Jorge Soler. But still, a ball bouncing into the vine and coming off. It's strange. Peralta ending up at first base, unless he's hurt.
So runners at first and third. Russell is loose and ready to come into the ballgame and face Hayward if they go that direction. Joe Madden says, nice job. That'll be it for Dallas Beeler. He'll exit with 5 innings. Pitches into the 6th, does not record an out. A walk and a base hit. First and third. Or Chevy call to the pen. Russell coming on to face Hayward when we come back. It's Brent, presented by Coca-Cola. That's Friday, July 17th. Cardinals.com/promotions. You have to wonder if Peralta thought the ball was going to be caught by Soler, who tried to deke. It looked like Carpenter, as if he was going to make the catch. And I wonder if Peralta got deked.
Well, you got to run the ball out anyway. You can't do that. He takes 5 steps from home plate. I mean, it really has nothing to do with whether he catches the ball or not. Carpenter's the guy who's got to worry about that.
So runners at the corners, and now it's Hayward. And a bouncer towards second base. Double play ball. No, they'll get one, and a run does score. We're tied up. It's 1-1.
RBI for Hayward. Addison Russell, the second baseman, had a little bit of a problem getting rid of that ball. It was not hit that hard. And then by the time he did shovel it off to Castro, Starling couldn't get a good grip on the ball.
So the inning started with a walk, then the single. Russell gets the out, but a run does score. Another Chevy call to the pen when we come back. At first base, and one down. Nice night from Wrigley. It is a cool evening here in Chicago. And the Hyundai pitch arsenal for Justin Grimm. And a check on Jason Hayward, who is a threat to steal.
Curveballs and sliders are almost interchangeable now. I mean, Grimm throws as many sliders as curveballs. Sometimes they look like curves if they go down, look like sliders if they go away. They're interchangeable.
Time granted late for Molina.
Good time to employ a hit and run. Castro's telling Russell something at second base. George Kissel used to say, for middle infielders, when guys run, come in and then over, and that way you don't vacate your position. That's one of the cures for a hit and run. Don't go immediately to the bag. Come in and then over.
I know we've talked about this, but when I hear you explain at times what George Kissel explained to you, he broke it down simply.
He made it as simple as possible. And that for infielders, you don't give up your position.
Sure.
If you're a shortstop, second baseman, come in and then over.
And a fly ball that'll find the seats and out of play.
And then you use that same line. You explain it 5,000 times until they understand. Restatement is a great learning tool.
Here's a 1-1. A check swing on the breaking ball, and he did go. 1-2 the count.
You see, that's a curve or a slider. You don't know, but look like either pitch. And with Grimm, they're interchangeable. Good play by Teagarden behind the plate to block that ball.
Shading Molina a little bit to the opposite way. And a 1-2. That time he can't block it. Hayward on his way to second base in scoring position. So the go-ahead run is at second. 2-2 the count with one out on Molina.
Another breaking ball. Teagarden goes down, but the ball trickles behind him, and Hayward alertly goes to second.
Spoiled by Molina. Yanni got off to the slow start, but comes into this ball game tonight hitting .292, pair of home runs. He's driven in 28. The 2-2. Well, how many times, Tim, do we see Molina on those outside pitches just throw the bat at it to stay alive?
Again, Soler very shallow in right field, and that's the reason. If he does hit it to right, he doesn't do it with authority.
Trying to go to right.
Yep.
Take out what happened with Edwin Jackson last night. The bullpen of the Cubs, fantastic the last week to week and a half. Their starters have been very good as well as time is called again. Three-two pitch. It's sharply to third. Bryant looks back the runner. Hayward back to the bag at second. And here is Mark Reynolds. Reynolds had the bases loaded. One out. Back in the fourth inning. He struck out. Then Scruggs grounded out, and the threat was through. We said at the time the Cardinals have to get a run, at least one out of that spot. And they picked up none. They'll come back with a run this inning to tie it up. I'm sure if you're Mike Matheny, you'd love to be able to spot Reynolds a little bit as he's kind of running on fumes here in the final week of the first half, but the injuries have forced him to play in both games of this doubleheader. Colton Wong, if you're just joining us, made another terrific play in game one on a diving catch, but then hit the side of his face and his right temple. He was checked for a concussion, came back negative, but not in the lineup tonight. So Carpenter at second, Reynolds at third, Scruggs at first, and that's to the backstop.
There are wild pitches and there are wild pitches. That was a wild pitch. I mean, really wild pitch. One of those 57-foot curveballs. I think it went between the legs of Teagarden. Nope, over the shoulder. Jason Hayward will have to, I beg your pardon, he'll have to be alert at third base for another wild pitch.
The 2-1. 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Hit left side, and it's a base hit for Reynolds. He comes through this time. Drives into Hayward. Cardinals have the lead. It's 2-1.
Have to talk to Mark about whether he cheated on that breaking ball away. We talked about it his last time up. Perhaps on this 3-2 pitch, flat breaking ball, outside corner, and Mark reaching for it. Finds a seam on the left side, and the Cardinals take their first lead of the day.
It's a lot of innings trailing in one day.
It is.
Playing catch up. Xavier Scruggs has struck out and grounded out with the bases loaded. Reynolds is the runner at first base. So he atones for the bases loaded, 1 out, not coming through. Now he comes through with 2 outs and a runner at third. RBIs for Hayward and Reynolds in this inning. For Mark, that's number 30. For Hayward, it was number 30 as well. Oh, 0-2 the count. Tim, you look up. Tim Cooney has given you 5 strong innings so far.
Man, what a job he's done.
0-2 pitch. Throw down to first. Save is Reynolds.
Mark Reynolds seeing the 2 wild pitches while he was at the plate. It's really not a bad play, thinking that the ball might get behind Teagard. Grimm's thrown 2 wild pitches. Mark kind of taking a mild chance, but got back to first in time.
1-2. 2-2. Strikeout of Scruggs. The Cardinals, though, pick up their first lead of the day, as Tim noted, and their first 2 runs of the night. Jason Hayward, RBI number 30. Then with 2 outs, infield hit for Reynolds, RBI number 30. 2-1 St. Louis. Goes in Rizzo, Bryant, Soler. Big inning here for Cooney. Arquilla in the driver's seat. Most home runs since 2013. Stanton, Goldschmidt, Frazier, and Anthony Rizzo. We talked about in game 1, Tyler Lyons with 5 walks in that game. Really wasn't hurt by it though. Though the pitch count got up there a little bit. Cardinals pulled him earlier than maybe they had to because of that. Cooney tonight has not walked a man. Reynolds over, out of room. Just imagine some of the folks watching at home saying Bartman. I mean, anytime a ball goes over there. How do you not think Bartman?
Moises Alou would have to come out of retirement and play left field for the Cardinals tonight.
I think the reaction by Alou is what set off everything else concerning that play. Marlins came back, won that game, won the series.
That was in 2003.
Hit the other way. And slipping again, but making the catch, Tommy Pham. Second time he slipped.
Well, keep in mind that, you know, this field took a lot of rain last night. I mean, a lot of rain. I got to believe that's partly responsible. I mean, that's
sure.
Tommy digging up a chunk in left field. That's a big divot right there. Replace it, Tommy.
Have to replace your divots.
Not in this game.
Oh, yeah. That's
Tommy's thinking, not in this game.
Remember when he got picked off in game 1, it was like he was stuck in mud, too, at first base.
Yeah, right.
Molina, a quick visit with Cooney, who looks like a completely different pitcher tonight than the guy that we saw with his first major league start against the Phillies in that day game earlier this year. Relaxed, calm, and this is the pitcher that we've seen in spring training too.
Well, again, sometimes you just can't explain confidence, but you can see it in his gait, his rhythm, his cadence.
And a little help from the strike zone too.
Yeah, that time he
did. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bryant is 0 for 2. He's flying to center, also grounded out to third. Molina sets up way inside. Cooney hits a spot. Let's see if he goes outside with this pitch. You brought up a really interesting point. The flight of the ball off the bat of Bryant, even on the foul balls.
Towering.
Yes.
His lift power. Some guys are as strong as the next guy, but some guys simply do not have lift in their swing.
Good example of that to an extent is Holiday. Holiday hits line drives. Not to say that Bryant doesn't, but you don't see the high arcing home runs off the bat. Usually, not all the time, but usually from Holiday.
Matt told Jimmy Hayes that earlier in the year.
And that will be it for Tim Cooney. It'll be a double switch. Cardinals will go to their pen after the walk to Bryant. First walk issued by Tim Cooney tonight, so the tying run is on. The go-ahead run will come to the plate. Mr. Double Play coming in. That's Seth Maness. Fans can take home a one-of-a-kind beach towel presented by Apple Vacations. Also that day, don't miss out on Prairie Farms ice cream sundaes before the game. Kids can run the bases after the game. That's July 26th. Tickets available at Cardinals.com/promotion. So Tim Cooney is out. Seth Maness is in. It's part of a double switch. There are the numbers for Seth presented by Chevy. Mark Reynolds shifting from third to first. Cosman at second. And Carpenter goes from second to third. You got it?
Yep.
You got it.
Double switch, but 3 switches in the infield.
So 1 out, 1 ball, no strikes. Jorge Soler is flied to left and also struck out. Runner goes, and it's pulled foul. The thing about Maness, Tim, is that he doesn't walk anybody. And you always think about the sinker and the potential of a double play in this type of scenario.
He's durable. He can go more than 1 inning. He is of underrated value to the Cardinal bullpen.
Totally agree. Cardinals love him. And they think this guy is invaluable. There's a ground ball, slowly hit. Carpenter charges and makes the play. So there is out number 2.
You know, I would imagine, I don't know this, but I would imagine when Matt Carpenter goes from second to third, you've got a longer throw, and you want the ball hit to you more than any other time, because to get that long throw out of the way, because at second your arm's not stretched out, he gets it out of the way. Good play for the second out.
Joe Madden goes to his bench. It'll be Coughlin pinch hitting for DeNorfia, who is 0 for 2 tonight. .250 his average, 8 home runs, 19 driven in. Runner at second, Chris Bryant. He represents the tying run. Fastball and a strike. Cardinals get 5+ out of Tim Cooney tonight. 5 1/3. With the double switch, you're talking about the potential of multiple innings here for Seth Maness. Pitches into the 7th potentially.
One of the reasons Mike Matheny did that.
Seagrass the 8th potentially. Rosenthal the 9th. Misses in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Maness looks back and wonders where that pitch was. 1-1 to count. Well, Seth, you're not the only one tonight.
Come on, Chris.
Get in line.
Get a ticket. Get in line. There's many that have wondered the same. The 2-1. Taken low, 3-1. Pitch. Seth Maness has recorded 24 strikeouts to 2 walks this year, with 1 being intentional. We had a game earlier this year. The Cardinals intentionally loaded the bases to set up what they hope would be a double play, and sure enough, he got it.
Yep.
3-2 pitch. And he went. Strikeout of Coghlan.
Home plate umpire called it. Once he calls it, there's no checking with the third base umpire. Had he looked immediately, then they make it the call.
A home run, the Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Personally, I thought Coghlan went.
I did too. But once that home plate umpire calls it, the key is they can't change it.
No.
You can't ask for help once he calls it.
So Travis Wood, the left-hander that's been in the rotation for the Cubs before, a former All-Star, now working under their pen, will pitch the 7th inning. It'll be Borges, Cosma, part of the double switch, and then Tommy Pham. Cardinals would love the split in this doubleheader. Then Michael Walker going in Game 4 tomorrow. Borges 0 for 2. He is struck out and grounded out to second. Oh, 2 the count. Oh, 2 pitch. Mentioned, Tim, I was talking with the Cardinals general manager John Mozeliak, and he said he was glancing at the standings earlier today, and he said in the American League, when you look at it, there are a lot of teams that still find themselves what he called mathematically alive. Now, all the teams are mathematically alive, but I think the better term would have been realistically alive.
Right.
And
okay. Gotcha.
So the player movement could be very different this year because so many teams have a chance. You know, some teams think about, all right, I'm building towards next year and we're trying to unload salaries, whatever the case may be. But now you have so many teams with the wild card that believe they have a shot.
Yeah, you might
Something
be
to think about.
You might be mathematically alive, but realistically not alive.
Sure. The next 3 weeks certainly would
be
able to separate certain teams in that category. Russell won't get there. Base hit for Cosmo. Our attendance tonight, 35,703, 35703.
Pete probably thinking, I've been waiting 15 1/3 innings to get in the game, and I'll take anything I can get. Got a plopper to right field.
Tommy Pham with 1 out, runner at first. Pham has grounded out twice and struck out. 0 for 3 tonight.
Good time to hit and run right here.
See Pham not happy with his strike zone, was really frustrated back in the third. A pitch that was low and away.
Yeah, the one thing about being young is you can't argue.
No. Inside. Umpires talk to each other. Reputations are formed.
Yeah.
Veterans have the longer leash than the young players, for sure.
Sure.
Down and in. See if they start the runner on 3-2. Short lead by Cosma. 1 out. There he goes, and the pitch is taken for a ball. Runners at first and second. And a Mazda game summary. 2-1 the lead for the St. Louis Cardinals. Tim Cooney 5 1/3. Hayward is 2 for 3 with a run scored. RBI tonight. Beeler, young starter for the Cubs, 5 innings, and Teagarden is 1 for 2. Here's Carpenter, and Carpenter tonight with a run scored. 1 for 2. Was called out on strikes back in the first and single to right field, and that was in the fourth.
Travis Wood, Dan, is an accomplished pitcher. Obviously, that's why he's here. He's a very good starter. And Chris Bosio wants to talk to him right now. But he's not that much of a challenge from the left side. Not as tough as a guy like James Russell, for instance, because he comes over the top. You see him clearly. No deception in dropping down.
It's part of the Sean Marshall deal with Cincinnati. Marshall just has not been able to get healthy, and he was a dominant, hard-throwing lefty. To an extent, reminds me of Segrist for the Cardinals.
He was too good here. They used him too much in a losing effort.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about it, they never had a contender with him. But Sean was one of the best relievers in the National League for about 3 years.
Durable, tons of appearances, but a hard thrower. Took its toll. There's a 1-0 pitch. And Carpenter with a drive opposite way. That'll stay in the ballpark. Cosma tagging up from second to third, but he'll stay put. And it brings in Peralta, who's 1 for 3 tonight. This lineup of the Cardinals, and we've talked a lot about it, the fact they have not produced, but when you add a Matt Holliday, it changes the look of the lineup. And when Carpenter can just get it going a little bit, it changes everything with this lineup.
It's going to help. But even with that lineup, earlier in the year, they had problems scoring with Matt Holliday and Matt Carpenter. And I know Carpenter getting it going is going to help. But to me, it's not a panacea. I think you're going to have to get a bat. I think John Mozeliak right now is thinking that way, but
and probably thinking first base too.
Yeah, and it depends on what you have to give up. It's like any deal.
ball, one strike on Peralta. Sharply hit, diving stop by Bryant, and the force play at second base takes a hit and an RBI away. Nicely done from the all-star rookie Chris Bryant. Time to stretch here at Wrigley.
Tonight's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
What he's been able to do here tonight. Couple of hits and an RBI for the Cardinal right fielder. Both were singles to right. Average is now above 280. So a pair of hits for Jason Hayward and an RBI. As we suspected, second inning of work for Seth Maness. He begins here in the bottom of the seventh. Starlin Castro, Taylor Teagarden. Castro was trying to tie it with one swing of the bat.
He may have popped a hamstring or a knee or an ankle. Joe Madden on the top step. That's a fastball swing and a slider.
Joe Madden during these replays came out to check on him. He says he's fine, stretching a little bit outside the batter's box, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike on Starlin Castro. Shaking the right leg is the Cubs shortstop. Well, we have a moment. Friend Rip Rowan, who works in the clubhouse for the St. Louis Cardinals, and all of us want to wish get well wishes to Ed Martin, who's watching us back home in St. Louis. Ed, get better, get to the ballpark very, very soon. 2 balls and 1 strike here on Castro. The 2-1. At times it's been a strike tonight. That's why Molina will go there. Maness questioning again the strike zone. 3-1. Ground ball. Charging. Peralta makes the play. DraftKings players to watch: Rizzo, Harper, Goldschmidt, Nick Ahmed. Shortstop for the Arizona Diamondbacks, the highest on base percentage against left-handed pitching, and Rizzo was 0 for 2 tonight against Tim Cooney. Let's a look at your DraftKings players to watch. Miguel Montero will be the pinch hitter for Taylor Teagarden, who had an RBI tonight. His first start as a Cub. Montero began the day as a starter behind the plate for game number 1.
Miguel Montero is a powerful hitter. He's got 107 home runs in his career. Only 32 years old. This guy's got pop.
I just thought he was a good player with Arizona. Durable too.
Yes.
He, along with Molina, have got the most innings in the National League last couple of years. Right-hander getting loose in the pen for the Chicago Cubs. Cardinals get a lefty up, Segrist. There's a strike. 3-1 to count.
Dangerous pitch right here. Good fastball hitter. Manus has to throw a strike.
And he walked him. Just the 3rd walk issued by Seth Manus. Waiting for a hitter from Joe Madden's dugout.
Jonathan Herrera, the switch hitter.
I don't think he can find his helmet was the problem. That's definitely not his. He wears number 19, I believe.
Too small.
Look, the helmet doesn't fit.
Jonathan, go back to the dugout and get another helmet. It doesn't fit.
He's wearing the helmet of Mike Baxter.
Heard the expression, if the shoe fits, wear it.
Oh my goodness. Look at the helmet on his head. This is the big leagues, right?
It's supposed to be.
He's going to have it like Bartolo Colon. He's going to take a swing and the helmet's going to go flying off.
Right.
Outside, ball 1. Wears a size 10 shoe, but tonight he's got a pair of 8s. Can't be comfortable to hit like that.
No.
Ooh, it almost came off too. 1 ball, 1 strike. You would have to think the Bat Boys right now are looking for that elusive number 19 helmet. I'm sure it's a fan favorite here. Two balls and 1 strike.
Now he's going back for a new helmet.
There you go. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Now he's wearing number 8. It's Chris Coughlin's helmet.
Looks like it's too big. Like a shoe sale.
The 2-1.
Good changeup right there in a fastball count. Big pitch by Manus.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, and a runner at first base. Maness has been a double plays machine over the last couple of years. Gets the ground ball past the diving Mark Reynolds and into right field. Montero will stop at second base, and the tying run is in scoring position.
Now Maness got a ground ball, but it eluded Mark Reynolds at first. Mark did everything he could. Montero may have gone to third, but he had to hold up for the ball to pass him. Watch. Yep, jumped over it. Then had to stop at second.
And it's Addison Russell. Big Cardinal fans, Adam Wolf, his family, Brad Kozum, they are here from St. Louis. Want to say hi to family and friends back home. Quickly 0-2. It was also uncharacteristic of Maness to fall behind of the hitters that he had seen.
2 in a row.
The 0-2 pitch. And it's 1-2. Russell is flying to right. He's also flying to left. And a ground ball that is fair. Reynolds put his arms up as if to say he couldn't believe it. That was called a fair ball. Montero scores. And we may get an argument here.
Somebody's been removed from the game. Is that Cosma?
I believe it's Maness.
Oh, it's Maness. That ball looked, with the naked eye, it looked like a foul ball to me. Remember, it doesn't matter where it lands after it goes over the bag, but whether it goes over the bag. I have the right to change my mind. I think that was a fair ball.
I initially thought fair, and now I think foul.
I thought foul, now I think fair.
And once again, you're wrong. And Mike Matheny is upset, and I think he's upset over the fact that he wanted to get help from the home plate umpire. Regardless, it doesn't matter. First base call once it goes past the bag.
He's not through either.
And upset Again, he thought that ball was foul.
You know, Dan, when you think about it, watch Addison Russell out of the batter's box, because he hesitates running toward first, thinking the ball may have been foul. That's a clue, at least. Watch that hesitation right there, and then not running hard. He might think, well, it's a foul ball. Why run it out? Maybe.
Well, I initially thought fair, and after the replay that we had, I thought foul.
I couldn't tell.
Very tough to tell. Agreed. Randall Grichuk, by the way, is into this game, and so is Kevin Segrist. Grichuk is in left field, and Segrist is getting loose. I believe Manus was ejected from the game right away.
Yeah. Might be his first ejection. I can't remember Seth Manus ever being kicked out of a game.
This will be the 43rd appearance for Kevin Segrist, and still only one out. Remember that. And the Cubs have runners at first and third. Let's take another look at this ground ball. Fair or foul?
It lands on the other side of the bag, foul. However, that's not the determining factor. Did it go over the bag?
When it initially hit, I thought it hit foul territory, which doesn't matter. It
Right,
back in
right.
fair territory. But then after the third hop, I did think it was on the outside portion of the first base bag. But again, very, very tough to tell.
I think Mike Matheny was trying to get the home plate umpire to converge
Exactly.
with first base umpire Pat Holberg.
Ask for help.
Ask for help.
What did you see?
Right.
And with that, now this game is tied at 2-2. Runners at first and third. The batter is Dexter Fowler. He came in hitting .340 against left-handed pitching. Middle infield playing at double play depth. A 1 pitch. 0-2, throw to third, and back safely the runner Herrera.
That was certainly not a suicide squeeze. I'm not sure if it was supposed to be a safety squeeze. So if that were if either were the case, why was he trying to bunt? It's odd. With the count 0-1 to run the count to 0-2.
May have been doing it on his own.
Yeah, still odd.
Now 2 strikes. He's grounded into only 2 double plays this year. Time granted late. Again. And now Molina frustrated with the home plate umpire. And again, that's Angel Hernandez, who's right in the thick of things tonight. The 0-2. The Cubs may have just scored the tying run with a ball that was never in fair territory, in a play that's not reviewable. Going to ask for help with the home plate umpire, but again, all for naught. This game tied at 2-2. The 1-2 pitch. Back to Segrist, and he throws it into center. Cubs take the lead on the air. It's 3-2. He could have gone home to get Herrera. He had him hung up between third and home plate. He elected to go for the double play and threw it into center field.
The reason I think he should come home on that ball, he doesn't have to hurry the throw. If he goes to second to get the double play, he has to hurry the throw. A 1-6-3 double play with a guy who can run like Fowler is very difficult to turn. You've got to know where you're going if the ball's hit back to you. The second throwing error by a Cardinal pitcher today about in the same spot.
Rizzo now, runners at first and third. Fastball and a strike. How frustrating this must be right now for the Cardinals. Game tied on a ball that was maybe foul, and then an error. One ball, one strike.
We talked about it last night, how the brilliant defense of the infielders of the Cardinals have played this year. And now 2 throwing errors by 2 pitchers. And this one, obviously, the more serious of the 2.
1-2.
Sokolovich threw a ball away in game 1 today. And now a very, very serious error on Segrist. But his play should have been home, Dan.
Yes.
I think you're right.
One-two pitch, breaking ball, hit out of play. Yeah, easily had Herrera hung up between third and the plate.
You simply can't take a chance. The double play's got to be perfect. The throw to second's got to be perfect. You've got a fast runner in Fowler.
One-two to Rizzo. Catch will be made. Runner tags up. That will make it 4-2 Chicago.
Good at bat by Anthony Rizzo. A slider on the outside corner from Segrist. Rizzo with another RBI. Had a couple on a 2-run home run in game 1.
To Chicago. Here is Bryant. 0 for 2 with the walk tonight. The Cardinals do not come back. This will be one of their more frustrating losses of the year.
More frustrating days, really.
Yeah. Long day of baseball. You drop 2, but still long ways to go. But the play that's going to be talked about is the ball that was hit up the first base line by Addison Russell.
Right, more than the play by Segrist. Because you could make a case that one caused the other. If that makes sense. You know, you're frustrated. Manus is gone. Segrist comes in under unusual circumstances. Men are on at first and third. First ball put in play is right back to him.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. The Cardinals' point of view, if it's a foul ball, it's a different game. Clearly.
No question.
And then the play by Segrist with the runner between third and home. And they had him dead to right. I mean, he wasn't even halfway home when Segrist got the baseball. One ball, 2 strikes. Chris Bryant. Segrist has picked off 2 this year.
We mentioned it in game 1, but once again the Cardinals burned by a pitcher throwing to a base. One-two
pitch. 2-2 to Chris Bryant. Cardinals get a right-hander up and throwing in the pen. It's Carlos Villanueva. This crowd will come alive again. Strikeout of Bryant. Big inning for Chicago. They've taken the lead. We head to the 8th. 4-2 Cubs. Let's go to our studio and a Bomberito Sports Update. All right, Jimmy, thank you. Hector Rondon, who has closed games out, has worked at middle relief. He's been a setup man. He will pitch the 8th inning for the Chicago Cubs. Rondon is in a bullpen that has turned out to be fairly tough here in the last couple of weeks for the Cubbies. Montero stays in the game. He's catching, and Herrera is at second base. Has held the opposition scoreless in 31 of 36 outings this year. Here's a 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike on Jason Hayward. He's had a couple of hits tonight and an RBI. The 2-1. 3-1. We mentioned earlier the Cubs have been using Jason Mott in save opportunities. Rondon was a closer for a while. They have got hard throwers. Stroke.
Yep.
Rondon. Mott.
Good time to take a pitch with the Cardinals trailing by 2.
Broken bat into center, and the catch made by Starlin Castro.
The reason it's a good time to take the pitch by Hayward is that you're going to get the same pitch 3-2 that you got 3-1. You're trailing by 2. Even a home run draws you 1 run closer. Cardinals need base runners.
Good numbers for Molina, 4 for 6 against this right-hander.
That, of course, in the modern game is antiquated thinking.
Man, is it
but
ever,
it's
though.
not antiquated thinking.
I always found it interesting. I've said this before, but I used to ask Tony La Russa, when your team is trailing in the 9th and you see a hitter go up there and swing at the first pitch, does that bother you? You know, normally they always say, well, take a strike, if not 2. Mm-hmm. And he said no, because of the specialization of the game. That's it down the right field line.
I remember you telling me that last
year. Which makes sense. I do get it.
I get some of it.
Some of it, yes.
You can get it and not agree with it.
And what he was saying basically is that because of the split fingers that you see now, cutters more prevalent, slider too. Molina pops it up, but you may only get 1 pitch in an at-bat to hit, so if that's your pitch, go for it.
Well, but it's 3-1, and I will guarantee you that Rendon threw 3 out of 4 balls. He's going to get the same pitch to hit 3-2 that he did on 3-1.
1-2 here on Molina, now 2-2. Strikeout of Molina. Two down. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. Reynolds off the end of the bat. Rendon flips to first, and a scoreless 8. Fox Sports Midwest brought to you by Budweiser. Make a plan to make it home. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. 4-2 Chicago in the bottom of the 8th from Wrigley Field. Game number 2 of this doubleheader. And the former Cub, Carlos Villanueva, is into the ballgame for St. Louis. Chevy called to the pen. It's been a good year for Villanueva, the 1.65 ERA. And a fastball taken outside. Jorge Soler. Then Coughlin and Castro for the Cubs. I'm sure it'll be debated an awful lot of the postgame show with Jim and Rick as to whether or not that was a fair ball. You know, watching the replay, the initial bounce I thought was foul. The next one was close if it was on the line, and then I did think it was a foul ball, but no help from the home plate umpire, and I think that's what Mike Matheny was asking for. Why didn't you ask for help with that?
You know, the one guy who didn't argue? Molina. And Molina had the best look of any of the Cardinals. Certainly better than Manus, who was run. He's looking right down the line. He has the same view as the home plate umpire.
Good point. Hadn't thought of that. I was thinking more of Reynolds' reaction at first when his hands were
right.
up.
But Mark doesn't have the best view. He's looking over the line, over the bag. But on the other hand, Addison Russell delayed in the batter's box. Now maybe that was because the ball went foul and then took that quirky kick over the bag, if it did that.
That's ripped into right center field off the bat of Soler. Big man can run. On his way to second, he'll stop there with a double.
That left ankle's giving him problems. Otherwise, he's on third base.
Yes,
easily.
Choose Nissan.com drive of the game off the bat of Jorge Soler as the Cubs tried to add to their 2-run lead. See what they want to do with Coughlin here. They want him to bunt. Swing away. And a strike. Clearly Villanueva not a hard thrower. You would think that Coughlin would have a chance to at least pull the ball to advance Soler.
That's right. Cardinals had the best power arm in their bullpen of the two, and that's, of course, Rosenthal. Seager's the hard thrower. They just don't have as many hard throwers as the Cubs do.
Could change with Jordan Walden coming back.
Right, right.
That'll happen shortly. Pulls the ball to the right side. Runner advances from first, or rather from second to third. That's Soler. And there's one away. That's the one thing you got to remember with the Cardinals. They'll play the infield in here with one out. They've got Walton coming back, Matt Belisle coming back, Holiday coming back. And there's some things looking better as we get towards the break. Jaime Garcia coming back. You get more of the look of the complete team that they are. There's Castro, who was even running awkwardly to go catch that fly ball in shallow center after an odd swing. His previous at bat, he had to shake out the right leg. Looked like he was hurt a bit. Major league average in this spot, 51%. Runner at third and one out. That seems awfully low, doesn't it?
It does.
1-0 pitch. The fly ball driven out to right center field. Borges in the gap makes the catch. So there will tag up 5-2 Chicago. 1 pitch, 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. Miguel Montero. The 2-1 pitch. 3-1. Villanueva's been on the losing end of some of the tight ball games, extra inning games, lengthy games. It's been his primary role on the club to log innings late. Sometimes it's a blowout either way. Pitch taken high. The 2-out walk.
One of Carlos's toughest losses, that home run ball hit by Will Venable. 2-run shot last Thursday night against San Diego.
Does he have the right helmet on? Number 19 with the 19 on the back of the helmet. He's got it.
He found it.
The Coghlan helmet when he picked up the base hit his previous at bat. He's 1 for 1 tonight. Villanueva, his first appearance in Chicago since he left the club. The shallow left, that's Grichuk, makes the catch. Sends us to the ninth. Jason Mott again getting set for game 2. Opportunities are Chevy called to the pen. Saw him pitch in game number 1. Now he'll get game 2. 5-2. Chicago with the lead here at the top of the ninth. Randall Grichuk will be the hitter. And that's a base hit into left. Second hit in this series for Grichuk. Leadoff man aboard here in the top of the ninth with the Cardinals down by 3.
Yeah, what you hope to do is get the tying run to the plate.
Just have a shot.
Yeah, that'll give you a shot, right.
Colton Wong still on the bench for the Cardinals, along with Tony Cruz. Here's Borges. I mean, with Mott, it's no surprise. It's basically reaching back, see how hard he can throw it. He'll mix in a cutter, but there's not a lot of difference with that.
No deception.
No.
Whatsoever.
Just rearing back and fired.
Yeah, no team knows it better than the Cardinals.
Oh, 1 pitch. Now 0-2. Two pitch. Chopped foul. Mott will walk around the mound. He'll take off the helmet. He'll smell the inside of the cap. Rub his head.
As long as you don't do that during the off season.
Maybe around the dinner table. Merry Christmas, kids. Boom, boom, boom. You know. Astute observation by you, Tim.
Thank you.
That, my friend, is why you're in the Hall of Fame. As long as you don't do that in the offseason. I like it. The 1-2 pitch. Borges hits it off the end of the bat. This may drop, and it does. Grichuk stops at second. The tying run will come to the plate.
It's pretty obvious when you think about it. Colton Wong is not out on the on-deck circle. If he were well, he would be. So it's up to Pete Cosmo.
So 2 on, nobody out. Cosmo is single back in the 7th inning. Tony Cruz has moved to the on-deck circle, and with that, Mitch Harris begins to throw in the Cardinals' pen. Back-to-back hits against the former Cardinals closer Jason Mott.
Notice both balls were down. It was down to Grichuk, and it was down to Borges. Jason Mott, an easier pitcher to hit when the ball's down.
Tying run at the plate. 1-0 pitch. Cosmo with a drive out to right field. Well hit. Soler backs up, makes the catch, and the runners don't tag.
It doesn't matter though. I mean, Grichuk could go to third base, but really you're down by 3, 9th inning.
Tony Cruz will be the pinch hitter.
Now, if it's a 2-run game, it's a different story. Even if Grichuk just gets to third, because that opens up second base for Borges. But a 3-run lead, saw how important that sac fly was in the bottom of the 8th inning. Those tack-on runs.
Tony Cruz. No home runs this year. Think how many bullpen sessions and games that Tony Cruz has caught Jason Mott. These two coming up together. Cruz grounded back to Mott to end game 1 of the doubleheader. Trying to extend it without hitting into the double play to Carpenter and give him a shot. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-2. Base hit. Grichuk being waved in. He will score. Tony Cruz comes through.
That ball is down, too. Down inside part of the plate, going under the glove of Chris Bryant. Bryant actually dived over the ball. So a hit and an RBI for Tony Cruz. All started so innocently.
Will Joe Matt now get his bullpen rolling? And again, Tim, good observation. That ball was down. Chris Bosio out to visit to give now, it looks like, a left-hander, which is getting loose in the pen. Time just to get ready in case Mott starts to unravel here. Was the starter the other day for the Cubs. That's Clayton Richard. They picked him up in a trade. He came back from surgery. First start in the big leagues was over the weekend against Miami.
Pitched well, too. Now the outfield has to push back. This is the deepest the Cub outfield has played today in either game.
First pitch popped up. Playable. Bryant. Play of the game presented by Budweiser. Shortstop of the Chicago Cubs, Starlin Castro, 1 for 3 with a double, a sac fly, and a run scored. The final hope for the Cardinals, Johnny Peralta. The tying runs at first and second. Peralta represents the go-ahead run. His last home run was June 21st at Philly. Broken back, ground ball to short. This should do it. The Cubs sweep the doubleheader. Long day of baseball got a little longer with 2 losses for the Cardinals.
Did indeed, but you know, I think the Cardinals came in here hoping that they would split the 4 games before going to Pittsburgh, and that they've got their best chance to do that tomorrow night with Michael Wacha.
That's the way to look at it. Wacha goes tomorrow, and it's off to the postgame show. Rick Horton, Jim May standing by. 5-3 the final.